Oof. Welcome to Silver Paw Studio. Monique here, and I realized I don't think I've ever showed you inside my traveling sales bag. So let's take a tour today. Now when I set things up here, you've probably seen one of my Instagram stories that I have, everything set up here in the studio. Obviously I have everything here, but what if you have to go do your sales meetings at a coffee shop or a shared workspace or the client's home? And it's been a while since I've had to do that, partly, with COVID, but partly because I've got this nice space. So I'm just having everybody come here. But one of my clients asked if I can come to their house yesterday. And when I loaded everything in here, I realized, geez, that's pretty efficient. Let's show y'all what I got. So it's important to me that I bring samples, I bring my price sheet, I bring a book to write all my notes in, and of course I have my laptop that I have ProSelect. I think they changed the name. Anyway, ProSelect sales software that's been around for a really long time. Everything loaded in there and ready to go. And then a secondary USB monitor for the client to view. So it's got like this mirror display, so they don't see all the back end. They only see the pretty pictures. Now, eventually what I'd like to do is have maybe a TV up in here and HDMI it over to the TV, and I think that would be really nice. And honestly, that's what we ended up doing at the client's house yesterday. I had just a kind of a strange cable issue with the monitor. He says, let me go get my HDMI, and we hooked it up to their TV. So that was pretty nice. I got a chance to see that. So that's kind of the synopsis of what's in this bag. But let's actually take a look. So when I walk into my client's house, we usually sit at a dining room table or their coffee table. And then I set up where I can be off to one side, and I'm right-handed, so I use the mouse over here, and they're over here or across the table from me. And I try not to set them up where their monitor is gonna have the window reflecting on it. And while we're here at the studio, I sit here, so my monitor has all of the reflection of light on it, and clients sit over here. So I do the same thing at clients' houses, at coffee shops as much as possible, co-working spaces, that kind of thing. So make sure that you don't have your clients back to a big window that's going to affect their viewing experience. So I figured that out. I've got my laptop. If you want to know what some of this equipment is, I will link to it in the description below. I've got my laptop. It's got their session loaded up in the software, ready to go. And secondary little monitor in here. This is a little USB monitor, and it's really cool because the case, let me come closer. The case folds out, this part folds down, and the monitor itself comes forward, and you have a stand. So that's really, really handy. So I would set this up the opposite side of my laptop, and then I have the cables. So I have a power cable for the computer, of course, which is here. I'm not going to set it up right now. This is a new computer. The battery is fantastic. I didn't even realize it wasn't even plugged in all day, so that's great. So this little monitor, it has HDMI. So let me see, get a close up for you. The big kind, and not the micro, but a medium-sized HDMI. I don't know what that's called, but I can link it in the description. I don't remember if the monitor came with that. I think it did. But be really careful when you get the connectors that it's the right kind. And it's USB. So this part, the USB, it gets power from the computer, the laptop, and then the USB-C plugs in to the side of the monitor. And they actually have two sides on this, so I think that was my problem. I just plugged it into the wrong spot. So I would hook all this up, I'd turn ProSelect to mirror display so they only see their dog or their cat or their photos. So here, let me hook it up real quick. And then I try to shove all of the cords between the two monitors, make it nice and neat. Can you see that on that side? Let me turn on mirror display. So we go to view, mirror display area, and your laptop has to be set up for that, or your desktop computer. So you can see this is from the Pups on the Pooter, the grooming display that we did. I use this program to size everything. And so on your side, on that side, all you're seeing is one nice, pretty picture. If I were to turn this whole contraption around, I don't know if you can see that, but you're going to see the toolbar on the side and the top. You'll see all the other images down below on the side here. So it's nice, clean setup on this side. And so this side, they also don't see the prices and products and all that when you're calculating that. So that's how that whole setup is done. So let me just do this. It all packs up nice and small. And then what else is in my bag is samples, price sheets, all kinds of things. So let's take a look. I always have my notebook. I like Rocket books. In here is a price sheet as well. Oh, I took it out and put it in my desk. So yeah, I put the price sheet in my desk here, but I usually carry one with me. They've also gotten one in their proofing gallery. So I fill this out with their name. It says sales meeting, and I take notes in here, even though I have notes in ProSelect. If the battery died or something, because I didn't know it wasn't plugged in, then I have notes in my notebook. So in the Rocket books, they save up to Dropbox. And so what I bring for samples to people is I have 3 different kinds of finishes. We have mounted prints, well 4. I have mounted prints for the smaller prints, which are these. So I tell people I don't carry floppy prints. I have mounted prints, and I always tell people this is a really, really old sample, so forgive me. It's a little warped, but they're just right to put in a framer on an easel or to ship to loved ones. That's small. That's like the biggest mounted print I do. And then from there, I have canvas framed in bamboo, and those are all the same price. And the canvas actually comes in a 3/4 inch. And I like to take this so they can see the texture, the depth, the hanging hardware. Or it comes in a 1.5 inch. And you can have the actual photo wrap around the edge or do a white or black edge. So hanging hardware. So I can show them those samples. If they're in the studio, of course, they can see all the big stuff too. So canvas framed. Then I say I have black gallery wrap or gallery frames, no glass because the print is coated and you don't have to have the glare. And a thin black frame pretty much matches anyone's decor. It's usually just fine. And I don't want to carry 500 frames. And this was actually kind of a reject because they didn't put the hanging hardware. So it works perfectly for my sample bag because I'm not going to scratch everything. But I tell people it does come with a wire hanger. And then right now, I only have small bamboo block samples to show people because I love these for desks and gifts and bookshelves. But I do have clients that get really good size bamboo blocks. Typically what I tell people is if you like the nice flat finish, you'll want a bamboo block or a frame print. If you like the textured finish, that's where the canvas comes in handy. And if I get a chance, I'll do a whole video mock-up of a sales meeting process for you. If you're curious where I get these prints, at this point, my framed and my bamboo come from White House Custom Color, and my canvases at this point are coming from Artsy Couture. So I can put those links down below as well. And you try to puzzle these so the hangers don't scratch each other. Okay. So those are the different types of prints I always show people, and they can hold them and everything. They can get destroyed, it's fine. And then I also have 2 sizes of albums. So I try to bring them to more of what I call a coffee table book. And the company that makes this, I've changed. So I say it's like it's the same size, but the cover is different. So I have an 8x8 album, and I can show them this. They can get an idea of what that's like. And then I have the little brag book, a little 5x5. The 5x5, you can't have a picture on the front, but the 8x8 you can. And then with the company that I use called Fineo for my albums, you can get a sample of the cover material. Be careful because not all cover materials are used on all kinds of albums. At this point, what I'm using is called the Playbook album, and it has all of these cover options. Look at this. This is amazing. And people are always like, oh my. And I say, just kind of think about what your favorite color is. And this like vegan leather. So they have vegan leather. There is linen. And the back of all these say exactly what it is. So when you go to order, you know exactly. There's even kind of these velvety ones. So clients can sit here and go through them and touch them and feel them, and then I write down what cover option they want. And then the other thing that I offer, I always bring a sample for, is greeting cards. So I have a bag here. I should probably make this nicer. Just realized that. So this bag has all kinds of different greeting cards. So when I sell greeting cards, I sell them in sets of 24, and they come from White House Custom Color in sets of 25. So I keep one for my samples because I want to show people the different ideas, and all of my cards are custom designed. So 5x7 two-sided is an option. They could get a card that opens. They're all 5x7. At Christmas time, people sometimes, I offer this like a mini newsletter on the back. I just send them a little document that says fill in the blanks here, and I'll put it on there for you. A lot of people will just get a calendar at the holidays. So they have a nice cover and then a calendar on the back. I can do a whole different episode about the different types of cards. There's all kinds of ways. So if people think they're interested at all in cards, I pull all these out and I sketch them in my Rocketbook notebook there. And there's really nice envelopes with these too that I also have in here. So I usually get just a linen envelope or white, linen or white. Yeah, so those are nice. You also want to make sure that you have a credit card reader. You want people to be able to pay all the ways, okay? So my phone, I have just the QuickBooks one. There's Square, there's all kinds. So my clients can pay by cash, check, all the different credit cards. I've even taken Venmo, PayPal, QuickBooks online. I can send invoices, and I do that pretty often. But if you have a card reader, that's the best because you're going to get lower fees. So if you don't have a card reader and you key in their credit card information, you get charged a higher rate in the United States. I don't know where it is, how it is in the rest of the world. And I know in Colorado, you can't charge them extra for that fee. Now you can give them a cash discount, but you cannot pass on the credit card 3% or however much it is fee to your client. It's not legal. So look into that in your area, but definitely I would rather take money with a credit card than take no money. And most people have credit cards. I know I do. So figure out how you want to incentivize that, whether they get a cash discount like my dentist office, or, you know, you encourage them to pay by check. A ton of my clients have checks, so that's really great too. Oh, I could show you this canvas bag. I just measured it. I can't remember how big it is, like 24 by 16 or something. And my best friend, Brie, she put this silver paw on the front for me. So this is just, you know, kind of a tote bag, and it's really big. And that's about all I can carry in there because it gets pretty heavy. So it's just a big bucket bag. Yeah, so everything fits in there. And then, you know, if cats climb in it, it's totally fine. I have another bag that I often take, and I don't think these are made anymore. I've had to sew the bottom because it's come apart, but everybody loves this camera print bag. So this comes with me when I do a planning meeting, and I only have my Rocketbook and a price list and a pen, credit card reader, because they're gonna pay me their deposit or their, you know, session fee at that point. So I love this bag. Another thing that you need to be aware of when you are doing a sales meeting at someone's house, do not rely on Wi-Fi at their home. I never like to ask that. It's really personal. What's your Wi-Fi? I don't like that. So some sales programs require you to have an internet connection. So to get around that, I just have ProSelect. So the ProSelect software, you don't need an internet connection. I load everything up ahead of time. So that's really nice. Make sure, sometimes if I know I'm going into a place that doesn't have the best reception, I pull up on my phone, my Intuit, you know, the QuickBooks payment system. So that's already logged in, and I don't have to fiddle with that when I'm at the client's house. I close all my apps, I open up the credit card payment app, and it's ready to go in my bag, and I make sure this is charged, the USB charge. So those are a couple things to note as well. One more thing, I don't use it as often as I used to. I do also have paper templates. So we just made some templates with the common sizes that people would often buy. And so we can just go tape this to their wall. So this is a 10 by 20. On the outer, in the inner edge, like canvas or bamboo, the outer edge is if it had a frame. So sometimes it's nice to just hang this up on the wall, especially for the bigger pieces I don't bring with me. Since I don't go to people's houses as much anymore, I don't do that. I just have them tape a piece of paper to their wall and text a big picture to me so I can put it in the Pro Select program and size it exactly like you saw in the grooming shop video. So, you know, some of these, I don't carry 16 by 20 or, you know, really big samples. So tape that to the wall. And then the other samples, we could just wander around their house. That's what I did at my sales meeting last night. We just took the sample and walked into their office and walked into their bedroom. And we held one up above the couch. And so we were able to decide because I was right there in their house. So that is the good part about going to someone's house for a sales meeting. You can immediately see every space they want to decorate and just put your samples or your templates in that space and you'll know. All right, so I went a little deeper than just what's in my sales bag. I gave you a little bit of insight on how I run a sales meeting. So if this was all interesting to you, you might also be interested in this video where we talked about a client planning meeting. And then also I want to make sure you check out this photo and follow Senior Yaxon with Yaxon Media here on YouTube, also a pet photographer, part of Pro Pet Photog, and his link will be in the description as well. Thanks Senior Yaxon for setting that in. He has the best dad jokes. You want to check out his channel. All right, thanks for joining me. As always, I wish you many woofs, purrs, and TREATSs.